show on the road. You guys ready?
Yeah!
Right. No new taxes, right?
No new taxes.
All right.
Cut the budget!
Cut the budget.
No more spending. Cut the taxes. No more spending.
Yeah, you want to cut our budget?
Acorn.
Keep your corn!
Yeah, no more acorn.
No more fun.
No more acorn.
Where's Trixie at?
Trixie!
Right there.
All right.
Trixie, you're on.
All right, gang. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name's Ben Markey. I'm State Director of Americans for Prosperity. Americans for Prosperity is the premier grassroots organization in the country that advocates for principles of free market and lower spending in government, less bureaucracy. We like low taxes, and we don't like this stimulus spending.
That's right.
We want Governor Kane to do what Governor Rick Perry has done in Texas and tell him to send it back.
Right.
Send it back. Send it back.
Send it back. Send it back. Send it back. Send it back. Send it back. Send it back.
We want Virginians to balance their own budget. We don't need help from a federal bureaucracy that can't balance its own. Today, we're kicking off the No Stimulus Tour that begins here in Virginia, where the governor is President Obama's right-hand man. We want to make it clear to the administration that we're not going to lay down and take it. We're not going to forfeit not only our futures and our grandchildren's future, but the money that is spent for generations to come. Virginia doesn't need to spend over $1 million on buses to the inauguration for President Obama. We don't need to spend $1 million giving Howie Mandel and Donald Trump ticket space on our lottery tickets. This is the kind of wasteful spending that we need to end in Virginia. And behind us, Americans for Prosperity, members from all across the Commonwealth, from Southwest Virginia up to Shenandoah Valley and Tidewater in Northern Virginia. All of Virginia is here today. We also have with us today Americans for Prosperity's National President, Tim Phillips. Tim has been crisscrossing the country over the course of the last year and has visited dozens of states, been at dozens of rallies with tens of thousands, and we're glad to have him with us here today, our President, Tim Phillips.
Well, I tell you this, it is always good to be home. And when I'm in Virginia, I'm home. It's absolutely great to be back home. I live in Loudoun County, where our property taxes went up double digits last year. And I know none of this has happened to you, but while that was happening, our home values were dropping double digits. And I'm still mystified how a politician somewhere could say it's sound policy and it builds prosperity and helps families to increase property taxes double digits while home values are dropping by double digits. And that's what we're up against too often. And today we're here to say, when it's $1 trillion giveaway, thanks, but no thanks.
Send it back! Send it back! Send it back! Send it back! Send it back!
You know, I've been through, and I actually read about 100 pages of the stimulus bill. And look, I read War and Peace in high school. I did. This was far more painful than War and Peace because it was our money, actually not our money, it was our children's and our grandchildren's money being spent throughout those 640 some odd pages of this terrible bill. And I want to point to just a couple of the most outrageous examples in this bill as a reason to say no. We face job losses. I think there were roughly 600,000 jobs lost in this country in January. And yet, we look at the stimulus bill, or so-called stimulus bill, that has $50 million for the National Endowments for the Arts. Now look, I'm for art. My 10-year-old draws some of the most beautiful pictures in the world. So I am for art. But not 50 billion more when we're losing jobs by the hundreds of thousands on a monthly basis. The second thing, did you know that in this bill is $600 million of your money, or your children's money, to purchase cars for federal bureaucrats, for workers? Now look. That's right. But that's just one of the examples. $688 million for ATV and bike trails. Think about some of the abuses we're seeing here. And it's time we said no. One of the most outrageous ones is $4.9 billion that's being talked about for the so-called neighborhood revitalization. And I think, Ben, you mentioned that's the money for me. One of the most partisan, questionable organizations that has come around the pike in a long time. They're going to be eligible for potentially billions of our tax dollars. And that's wrong in the name of stimulus. And there's one other component, and I'm not sure, I'm interested to know if you have heard about this provision, but in the bill is several $1 billion to put together a national health board. Have you guys heard about that?
Yes.
A national health board. And when I first heard this, I literally thought, no, that's wrong. That can't be right. They would not put something in like this in a bill like this. That would be going too far. And then I was shown to the actual pages where this is done. It's billions of dollars to put together basically a health board that will begin determining the most cost-effective measures and treatments for health care for our senior citizens, for the chronically ill, for all of us. That's the beginnings of government-run health care. It's the beginnings of rationing of health care. They also have put together a board, well, this board's responsibility will also include monitoring the medical records of every individual. Beyond being an invasion of privacy, that's also, again, down the road to the rationing of health care and government bureaucrats instead of doctors and individual citizens like you making health care decisions. And that sounds so fantastic, it's hard to believe, but it's in this legislation. It's absolutely in this legislation. There's a great website, the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org, details this provision in the stimulus bill. So look, I want to thank all of you for coming out today.
Yeah.
I was with a newscaster yesterday, and we were on the air, and he said, well, look, Tim, be candid. Do you really think you guys can make a difference? Do you really think this? Everyone is saying this thing is a done deal. Well, look, like my dad used to say, there ain't nobody against this but the people. And there's a lot of people who are against this stimulus package. We started
Spend it back. Spend it back. Spend it back.
We started a website less than 25 days ago called nostimulus.com. Have you guys gone to that? Yeah. If you haven't, I would encourage you to do it. You know how hard it is to brand a brand new website. With very little advertising, we put it up. And we thought maybe 25 or 35,000 people would go on and sign that petition. And the petition is very simple. It just says to Congress and President Obama, vote no or oppose this stimulus package. And that's all it says. Then your name, zip code, city, and not even your address, just your name, zip code, email address. As of today, we have over 205,000. We've had so many people calling in and saying, how can we spread the word about this website? And we said, look, you can help us by sending it to your friends and your family, but you can also help us financially. We've had folks give funds. And if you go back to Drudge and FoxNews.com today, you'll see ads for nostimulus.com. I tell you, if you haven't gone to this site yet, go there today and sign this petition. it sends a powerful message. You know, the elites in Washington always tell us, well, we know what's best. But over 205,000 Americans who say, look, we know what's best for our families, for our small businesses, for our parents, for our children. And that's something that's very exciting about this stimulus.com website. It's a genuine grassroots movement, just like you're doing here today. I know you're going to take this afternoon and go see some of your state legislators. Is that right?
Yeah.
Good. Make sure that Governor Kane and the guys are doing the right thing on the state budget and the cuts that need to be made there. And then I think tonight we're going to get together for a dinner. Is that right? Okay, well, thank you all for coming. And thanks for
Tim, we're proud to have you and welcome home.